Philly X with Confident Gamers here, and I am excited to be speaking with Charles Bardin. Is I say that right, Bardin?
Yeah, you said that exactly perfectly. Yeah.
Wonderful. Awesome. He is the composer and the game developer,
Game designer. Game designer.
designer, okay, for A Musical Story. And it's a great game. I'll get into that, but first I wanted to, let Charles introduce himself and, give us a little bit about himself.
Thank you very much, Philippa. So yeah, I'm. So yeah, as you said, I'm Charles. I'm the game designer and co-composers. We are two composers on this project of of the game A Musical Story. So the game releases this week on all the platforms you can imagine. I mean, I think it releases on just everything. And I mean, we started working on this game in 2017, and we can't wait that everyone is able to test it, So yeah, I'll be happy to chat with you today.
Awesome. Yeah, I checked out the demo. It was last year sometime on Steam, and I was really impressed. Even my children, they jumped in and played a couple rounds too.
Cool.
And I was like, okay, great. They enjoy it because they love musical games and, timing things. And now I do know, at least from the experience that I've had so far, I'm a little bit through the game, and it's not a very fast-paced musical game. A lot of the other music games, like you're moving really quickly or you're pushing buttons really quickly. So what inspired the more slow-paced of this game?
I mean, it's something that the gameplay. Well, it was something that was imposed by the gameplay. I mean, we first had the idea of making. Well, we knew we wanted to make a musical game. We were two composers in the studio, so we are four, two composers, one artistic director, and one developer. And we all make multiple things, It's a small studio. It's often this kind of thing. So we knew we wanted to make something very different for a musical game. We knew we wanted to make a game where you had to listen to the music and understand it. I love playing games like Guitar Hero or things like this. But in the end, if you want, playing Guitar Hero, you can make that. And only play watching the visuals, because there's the timeline which always shows you what to do. And we wanted to make something where players had to understand how the music was made to be able to reproduce the music. You're not playing the music when it comes, you listen to the music, and then you're able to replay it as many times as you want. So there's no game over in a musical story. The game is here to... you're here to unlock memories, and you have the time you want for each music of the game. And when you don't manage to fully finish a music, it turns in a loop. It simply turns in a loop. So, it's like more accessible and harder at the same time. Because when the game gets harder and harder, we add more and more notes, more and more complex rhythms. The fact that you have to rely on your ears is very different than just seeing things. But knowing that this was something very peculiar and very unique, we understood that this could be hard for some players. So we decided to put, let's say, 3 ways to play the game. The hardcore way, you have no assist at all. The automatic way, after a few tries, the game starts helping you more and more and more and more after each fail loop. And for people who really just want to go through the story and that are not able to fully finish
the rhythm.
The rhythm, they have the full help system. So
yeah,
we say that's not the experience we really want, because we want players to be able to understand things, but this is an option that exists, and we think it's interesting to make it accessible to almost anyone, knowing that the ones that who really want to get involved in the game will have a big challenge and will be able to unlock cool things after the end of the game. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize just how subtle it was that, yeah, we weren't really given the notes on the screen per se of what to do. Well, we saw the notes, but the timing of it was really reliant on us listening to the music, and I really enjoyed that. It's like it took me a while to realize what was happening, but then after I got a while, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. It's not giving me that unless I miss the loops. It's not giving me that time prompt, so I really appreciate that. And I feel like a lot of music lovers are going to enjoy that as well. And so one thing I was thinking about as I was playing through is which came first, the music or the storyline?
That's a very complicated thing. At first, at the very beginning, we began with the gameplay. So we knew we wanted to make a narrative musical game in which playing the music unlocks things in the story. So we started with the gameplay. When we thought we had a good gameplay, I wrote a story. Well, I wrote something like 7 stories. There are hundreds of pages. And at the end, we found the one on which we saw, okay, this is the good one. And then the way to work was very unique. We started by making storyboards. And after the storyboards were made, we knew what would happen in each scene. So then, Valentin and I, the other composer, the 2 composers of us, we were working on, okay, what will be the gameplay, so the music, for each one of these scenes in the levels. So it's gameplay first, but then story first, then gameplay, and then we, after choosing which gameplay, which rhythms we would want to make players play, we had to think about what does it mean for instruments or things like that. For example, there are multiple main characters in our game, but 2 of them have their own musical themes. And when we decided to, when we started to compose music for the levels, we wanted that these themes could evolve, and that so yeah, everything is composed thinking about what are the feelings of this character at this precise moment. What does it mean for the instruments? What does it mean for the themes? What does it mean for the mood of the music, etc. So, it's a lot of it's a lot of tries. Beginning first with gameplay, then the story, then the music, then going back to the story, then the music, etc., etc. It was very unique, very particular. I mean, one of our biggest influences to know what we would make for the narration was, I think it's called Up in English. In France, it's called Là-haut. It's a Pixar movie. At the beginning of this movie, we see the whole life of the character in something like 4 minutes, without any word. Just little, very short scenes. And that's precisely what we wanted to do with a musical story. And that's not something we see a lot in games. So that was, again, something else to keep in mind while making the game, that, okay, we're going for a lot of new things for a game, and it takes time. It took us so much time to find the right formula. More than 2 years, to be honest.
Well, also, I love that story. I like how it developed, going back and forth between the plot and how the storyline goes out, and mixing the music into the experience. And I know, so each time we play a rhythm, I feel like we're getting a snippet of a more complete song. Is this or is there going to be a soundtrack where we get to experience the full versions of each of the songs throughout the game?
Yeah, we're gonna release the soundtrack of the game. I think it's gonna release a week after the release of the game digitally. There are maybe plans to release it physically, but nothing's sure for now. We're gonna see. But yeah, you'll be able to listen to the full songs with this. But I mean, it will be the same kind of experience you have while playing the game, because what we wanted to show is how a music is built layer by layer, and that's also it's a bit modified, but the same kind of experience you'll have only listening to the soundtrack.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. And now I know, looking at your profile yourself, you've had some experience doing music for other games as well.
Yeah.
Is there any other games that you're working on that's coming out soon that we could hear about?
Yeah, there are multiple games I'm working on that are gonna come soon. So next month to another game. Well, that's not a game I've made the music for, but only sound design. A game called Out There Oceans of Time is gonna release on PC, and so yeah, I'm the sound designer on this. A bit later this year, there's no release date for now. It should be around the summer, maybe fall. I'm the composer and narrative designer of a game called Overloop. I invite you to check this one because it's very different. It's like a bit of a post-apocalyptic game made in pixel art and very reminiscent to games like maybe Portal or the Swapper or games like that. So I invite you to check this. So yeah, I made music and sound design and narrative design for this game. And there should be a game coming at the end of the year, but I can't say any word on this one. You should.
No spoilers here.
Oh yeah, you'll learn things about this game later this year, and when you'll see the trailer, you'll probably think, "Oh, this is this one." It's very different from a musical story, but
okay.
I can't say more.
No problem, no problem. Well, I'm definitely impressed and excited. I can't wait to finish A Musical Story. And now the game officially releases, I think, this week sometime, right?
Yeah, there are 3 different release dates. So March 2nd is for PS4 and PS5. Okay. March 3rd will be for Nintendo Switch. And March 4th will be for PC, Xbox consoles, and mobile.
Okay, awesome. So this week it'll be a big week, a busy week for you then.
Yeah, crazy week.
Cool. So I'll make sure to definitely let our readers and watchers, viewers know about the game, about the experience. Maybe give them a little snippet, from little chunks I played, so they can get an idea of what it's like. Because I do think it's definitely an experience, even for people who aren't music lovers. They're still going to enjoy the story and the experience.
And it has something very particular. Is that when you're just watching the game, you can't understand what it is playing it, because you don't really understand that you don't have all the things you have in a normal musical game. You don't have all the visual cues and things like that.
Yep.
It's a very special experience that you have to experience by yourself. So I invite you all to check the demo, because it's a good way to see if this experience is going to suit you. Yeah.
And for the demo, is it only available on Steam, or can people demo it on? Okay, so so if they're going to check out the demo, at least check out the demo, check it out on Steam, see how the experience is, and then they can decide what platform they want to get it on.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and the experience is good on all platforms, so yeah, no worries.
Yes. Well, Charles, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with us. We really appreciate it. We're excited about this game, and we look forward to following you and future games and music that you compose. So
Thank you very much.
now, for people who want to stay connected and follow you or A Musical Story, where should we send them?
I think you could send them to our Twitter account at Glee-Cheese Studio. So yeah, here they'll find all the info about the game and what's coming next. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Will do. I'll make sure to link it everywhere we share it.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. All right.
Have a great day. Thank you.
You too.
This is Pinewood, the festival of dreams. So many people listening to us. Man, that atmosphere. The journey of a lifetime. We were on our way, but did we make it?